Hey, and welcome to Motivational Moments with Marissa. I am your host. I'm the editor-in-chief of Own It Magazine and Publishing, and I'm so excited to have one of our contributing writers with me here again. This is not her first time. It's not her second time. It's not her third time. She's been here a gazillion times. We love her so very much. It's Ellen Scales, and she is here talking about emerging Lotus and her community of people who are being transformed. Oh my God, I'm so excited to have you here with me today and talking more and more about your community and then also too your retreat. So we got to tag that in there and talk about that. So say hello to the people, Elaine.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. And Marissa, thank you again for this amazing opportunity to spread some positive vibes out here today. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And we need positive vibes with all the things that are going on with people and mental health and all these issues that we're finding out. I was watching ABC yesterday, and there was several segments on the broadcast network that talked about men, our Black men, getting the healing that they need, getting therapy, and then also in our communities, how that was not something that was norm. Going to a therapist wasn't normal. I didn't realize how consciously that was a challenge for us, that it was a taboo. I had a friend of mine say to me when she discovered that she was diagnosed with depression, that her mom said that that's a white person's issue, not a Black person's issue. I had no idea. This is a very close friend of mine, that she was suffering from depression at all myself. And that tells us a lot. And so in your community, I know that you address some of those challenging areas, the mental health issues and things like that. Talk to the people about your emerging Lotus community, and then let's dive into what they can expect to experience in working with you.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you. Again, it's just really a pleasure to be here with you once again. So the Emerging Lotus community is a community that I created and founded to allow individuals to come experience a safe space, free of contradiction. It's a space to come and step away from the mask. Right? It's a space where you really have the opportunity to either rediscover or discover who you truly are and who you were created to be. It's a space where we move away from a lot of doing and enter into a space of being. So, thank you very much. That's what the community is all about.
Yeah, because you want to feel like you're truly authentic. And
Yes.
in one of the past shows, you talked about trending. Messages that are trending, and how important it is for us to really, really connect with. Just don't say it, understand it, and then apply it. Apply it, because sometimes when we're trending, we talk about it so much, we fail to apply it. Right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's when you're still feeling fake, fraud, and phony, because you're talking about it, but
Yeah.
you've not applied it to your real life. And
Yes.
on Own It, it's all about self-awareness, should lead you to a desire to self-develop. And
Yeah.
that just means that you're taking authority over the navigation of your life and the evolve and the leveling up of your life, that you're becoming conscious, you're making conscious decisions, and that you are having a strategy and an intentional plan with your life. And that's how you show up well. And that's how it trickles into your career. And that's how it trickles into your business. And then that's how you show up. And so, talk a little bit about we talked in our past interviews about alignment. And we talked about the prerequisite work of one assessing, doing the assessment work, the introspective work, to know where you are, and then also to begin to identify where you want to be so that you can kind of affiliate yourself into that proper alignment.
Yeah.
Um, and share a little bit about that.
Oh, great. Yes, absolutely. Well, one of the trendy words, right, has been over the last few years, transformation. And before I dive into this, is going to really lead us into the topic. And so the the important thing to recognize about transformation is this: not all change is transformative, right? Because we talk about change, and think that we can be transformed, right? But not all change is transformative, because we have, with when we're operating in change, we have the right to change our minds. We have the right to change our direction. We have the right to change our goals. But the interesting thing about transformation is all transformation is change. But when you enter into the path, or enter onto the path of transformation, transformation does not allow you to go back,
Mm,
right?
mm,
Change allows you to go back, but transformation, or transforming, does not allow you to go back. And so part of the transformation process is moving, and we're going to talk about this, moving from a survival mindset,
mm.
mindset of significance. And in that process, we're fully going to emerge, right? We're going to emerge. So, for example, EDS stands for emergence driving significance, because the level of your significance will be driven by the level of your emergence. And
Mm,
so, this is a transforming, right? Because we can stay in the mud, we can stay in that muck, and not fully emerge. And so, if we're going to move from a survival mindset to a mindset of significance, we have to do some work. A lot of times when we talk about, and feel free to correct me on that, but when we talk about Maslow's hierarchy of change, right?
mhm.
Um, the the and so I don't know what the terminology is for that basic ground level where we are achieving to get our basic needs, right?
Right.
Where we're achieving to get our basic needs. So a lot of that is external, right? We talk about housing, food, those kinds of things that are basic in order for us to be able, and we talked about this earlier, in order for us to be able to receive the information. The other thing is that I want to take this a step further, because we can move from survival, getting our basic needs, and moving to the next stage. The problem is that we often do not look at the mindset that we have, right? Because from that, we create a belief system of survival, which is also from a perspective of lack, right?
Mhm.
And we have to address that mindset of survival. And so, in addition to the external, because again, we talked about that internal work, we look at from externally surviving and moving to the next step, we also have to do the internal work. And here's a really great example of how that manifests: an individual who wins the lottery. Statistics shows us that an individual who wins the lottery will be back at their same financial level within a year. And why is that? It's because externally we got the resources to get us out of our current situation, but we didn't do the inner work to change our mindset. So
Yeah.
because of that, we ended up right back at the level we were before we won the lottery.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's a lot. I had it, and there's the other thing, like, so in working with someone like yourself, you have the ability to become transformed, right?
Yes.
You have the ability to change your mindset. And it's all about choices, right? It's about being at a crossroads. And so where Maslow hierarchy of needs, he talks about on the first level, it's just your basic needs: food, shelter, water, blah, blah, blah. And then at the third level, it's that feeling loved and all of that good stuff. But then there's the acceptance level. And so depending on your family, like, because another thing that when someone wins the lottery, they're dealing with their family coming and saying, hey, especially if the family knows, and word gets out. So they want some money. They need this. Everybody's coming out of the woodwork. Da, 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 da. And we talked about in the other shows about boundaries. We talked about alignment. And then I had charged is that once you get there, once we do the inner work, now we got to go to an external world. We got to go out there in the world. And so when we go out there in the world, it's just like we're going to put this into everyday life. We're going to put this in real life application. So I've changed my mind. Case in point, weight loss, stop of drinking. As long as you are doing your routine and it's you and your house and your household, your family, whatever, your immediate family, they know what your agenda is. They've accepted it. They love you. They support you. That's internal. That's in your house. Now you're going to your job or you're going to hang out with your friends. And now that's the external. So they're not your internal group. They're your external group. They're going to say, girl, you don't need to lose no more weight. Come on, have this lunch with us. Right? Case in point in the lottery. One that you got a lot of money. Well, if everybody's taking a bit and you go out to every lunch you invited and you take every drink that has been offered to you, internally you made the decision to do these things. But there's an external force that now you have to confront. And you are either like Maslow hierarchy of needs. And what I believe people do is they get the misconception of that, where they look at his actual self-actualization about maximizing into all your inner powers and your skill sets and your mind. No, Maslow, in my opinion, when I have studied and researched his hierarchy of needs, Maslow's talking about freedom from accountability in the sense to anyone else's regulations, anyone else's influence. That full influence and autonomy is now you operating in your true authenticity and not apologizing or accepting or allowing anyone to cross boundaries or anything like that. You have come into the fullness of who you are, and that level of freedom feels so good that Maslow argues that you feel so good about this level of evolution, transformation, and freedom that you want to go back and tell other people and help them to self-actualize. So when you are, they'll take us back to that real life application, is when you are among these other people, are you going to conform, like Maslow says? Only a small percentage self-actualize because only a small percentage have the kahunas, I say, to say, buck the system, I'm doing me. And not doing me in a radical, adverse way, but in a positive, self-lifting, self-actualizing way. Um, and you don't conform. You refuse to conform and be sucked back into the status quo. So when you are out and you are, you just won the lottery. The lottery is a seed that you, if you're in your right mind, have to be intentional and take it and sow it into the ground so that it continues to build a harvest. But if you get sucked back down into the commonality of the people, you will think that it's meant to meet the needs of the people immediately. And that's why in a year, because you have not changed your thinking about managing the money and what the money can do and see the projection of it, you're now back in that scenario. Now you'll get back to your original weight gain because you didn't buck them. You just said, okay, well, they keep asking me, so this tastes good, and uh, one drink ain't going to kill me. And right, am I right? Am I wrong? And you have to be in a community like the emerging Lotus community so that you have enough support and reinforcement that when you go out there into the world, when you're leaving and coming and going back and forth into the community, that you have a place of accountability that's in a community, but really to yourself and what you've talked about inside the community. This is so vitally important for the everyday person. I mean, especially with all the mental health. Talk about the retreat. So now you have the online community and you're supporting them and loving them, but now you're giving them a chance to come and spend some time with you face to face. Talk
Yeah.
about your retreat.
Oh, yes. Again, thank you for that. So in creating a sort of the vision for the retreat, I came up with a name for it because I really wanted the name to embody the experience. And so the title or the name for the retreat is Connecting to the Lotus Within. And it's about really disconnecting from the external so that you can connect to the inner voice, because there's an inner voice within us all, right? There's an inner spirit. There's an inner yearning, and we disconnect from that. And that's why sometimes it's easy to be swayed and to be influenced or impacted by the voices externally. And so during this time together, it's about really being still, because we are called to be still. We are called to be quiet. And it's about being still. It's about disconnecting from all of the voices and really connecting to our authentic self. It's all about self discovery as well. What do I need to do in this next chapter of my life? Um, where along the way did I get off track? What did I do well? What did I need to learn? And if we're not still, those questions come and go, and we miss the opportunity for growth and connection. And so that's really about the retreat. We have one lady, she's a minister. She has come every year, and she says that my year, with all of my activities and responsibilities within the church and to the church members, I don't have an opportunity to be still. I don't have an opportunity to really turn in and listen. She looks forward to this retreat every year.
Oh,
Um, and she is also the she's also actually the one who planted the seed 2 years ago about doing an international retreat. So
wow.
that seed was planted by someone who really needs the disconnecting, right? Because look, we have what we're called to do. And unless we are blessed in this moment to do that full time, some of us may have a full time job. Some of us may have a full time and a part time job. Some of us may have a full time, part time job and a family. Some of us have full time, part time families and school. And so, with all of that,
Mm,
it's
mm,
difficult to be still.
mm,
It's really difficult to be still. So, this is an opportunity to be still.
Yeah, and you said, and it's so good to be still.
It is.
It creates that balance, and we were talking about alignment earlier. It creates that balance that is required. You know, connecting to the lotus within. It's all recentering yourself.
Yes.
It's all about rejuvenation, refreshing. Um, you need fresh. So, especially leaders,
Yes.
this is critical for leaders because you need someone pouring into you. You need someone pouring into you so that you have enough in you to go and pour back into your people. So, retreats are very vital.
Very vital.
They're very, very important. They should not be compromised. You have to get away. And what's really nice about an international retreat, and then also having an international retreat so close to the US in the Dominican Republic, is because one, is cost effective. Two, it's efficient because you're not going too far away. I know in traveling abroad that you're tired. You have to get past jet lag. You have to get past all of the hustle and bustle of going through immigration, going through customs, going through all of that, traveling back and forth, the long plane flights. Now, granted, I say don't let any of that stop you, but with this retreat, you don't have to worry about that. You can just hop on a plane, roll up some dresses because the heat is here. Roll up some dresses, put them in a little bag. You don't have to have major luggage. You don't need makeup because the sun is going to make you look like bronze and beautiful.
Yeah.
And so it's easy travel. It's easy. The Dominican Republic is the easiest immigration to process to go through. It's nice and simple. They want you to come. They're ready to welcome you in, and you kind of feel like you're at home. And so yeah, so I'm excited about you coming here and having your retreat here and being here with me. I'm excited about that. So share in closing remarks. Share how they can work with you. How can they get in touch with you in regards to the retreat? Find out more. How can they join the Lotus Emerging Lotus community? Share with them your closing remarks.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. So you can reach me at my website, has all of the information about the retreat and the community, and that's at edsintegrative.com. You just click on the tab that says retreats or community. In addition to the community, I also provide transformational coaching packages. So if you're interested in taking a next step and really doing some inner work one-on-one, I offer packages as well. And that you can reach me through social media. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/EDS and I'd like to leave us with this thought. And the thought is in today's society where there is the hustle and the bustle, where we have become individuals that forfeit kindness and compassion, where we have become individuals that feel that being harsh and negative is appropriate. I'd like to ask everyone to pause. It's always about pausing, connecting to the breath, but this time connect to your heart. See what your heart and feel what your heart is asking you to do. And be brave enough, have the courage enough to offer kindness, to offer love, to offer compassion. It's easy to offer negativity, and it's just as easy to offer positivity and hope. So it is my hope that you will do that today and the rest of the week.
Oh, yes, yes, and the rest of the week. And we are at the top of the week. So this is your life, own it. Make great choices that align with the outcomes that you're believing God for, believing for this week. And we just want to cheer you on. Be motivated, boo. You got this. We are at the top of the week. Take care. Be blessed. We are out.